Hello, everybody. Welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. I am Mr. G, your meteorologist today. How is your Saturday going, guys? And I hope you guys are having a lot of fun out there. We're looking at Nashville, Tennessee. Anybody know what street this is right now? This looks like a kind of a touristy street here. Check out the horse-drawn carriages. I just saw a bus go by. It looked like some kind of a party bus or something, a tour bus with open top, people hanging out up the top and stuff. So whatever road this is, they look like they having a grand ass time today. Dry weather, but look at those clouds out there. So we could be seeing some showers and storms in the area as we have some very interesting and ominous looking clouds in the skies around the downtown Nashville area. So again, very warm day out there. Those temperatures are in the 80s right now as you are having a beautiful afternoon. Check out the horses and stuff. I hope they are having fun, and I hope it's not breaking the bank in order to go enjoy those activities. So let's talk about the hurricane and all of the rest of the stuff going on across America, shall we? Okay, as we talk about the forecast for the rest of the continuous United States, we do have Hurricane Lee out over the Atlantic right now. That was formerly a Category 5 hurricane 24 hours ago. Now it's a Category 2, borderline Category 3 storm, but it is forecast to strengthen as it moves further to the west and northwest. So let's take a look at what's going on right now with Hurricane Lee out there. It is currently a Category 3 storm, and we're going to have our next update where it's forecast to have winds of up to 120 miles per hour. It's currently 115 miles per hour with 120 miles per hour just right there in this graph. And as it moves on into your early morning on Monday, we're going to see those winds up to 130 miles per hour. So eventually, we're looking at a storm that could possibly hang on at a Category 3, maybe possibly even a Category 4 storm. We have winds of 115 miles per hour right now, and it's moving to the west, to the northwest at about 10 miles per hour. It's moving very slow, so it's creating some stability in and around its immediate vicinity that's contributing to a bit of weakening. It's moving very slowly toward the northwest, but we anticipate that forward progression to get a little bit further as it gets closer to the U.S. mainland. So let's talk about where we are looking at in the forecast model tracks to the Ensemble here. And this is our cone of uncertainty, these orange lines here. So our hurricane can mostly track anywhere between this orange line and this orange line. There is the Bermuda High right now. So we have the Bermuda High that's going to slide off to the east. And that is going to, in the forecast projections, where it's starting to, in the GFS, I'm seeing that it's tracking a little bit more to the east. So it's pulling it away from the U.S. mainland. But the European model is still tracking a little bit further to the west and hasn't even hitting a part of the U.S. mainland. And I'm going to show you just where that can happen in just a moment here. And here we are to talk about what's going to happen into the middle to late next week. We're going to start to see a lot of surf building up as the storm out over the Atlantic here. And we have that flow coming around the storm, but we will see our surface counterclockwise rotation down here at the surface, and that is going to make very strong swells coming up from the southeast toward the northwest into the southeastern U.S. from the Carolinas into the mid-Atlantic and into the New England states. So we're going to see a very strong southeasterly swells, and we're going to have lots of rip currents along the coastline and small craft issues. So the seas are going to be quite choppy. So if you got a small sailboat or a small pleasure boat or fishing boat, it's going to be kind of rough out there, even if you're along the U.S. mainland. But even though the hurricane is still hundreds of miles away, it's going to be affecting the Atlantic and the eastern seaboard as it passes toward the north and northwest. So here we are as we talk about those water temperatures. The water temperatures in the Caribbean are very, very warm, and we're actually kind of seeing some record warm water temperatures. Well, we have some areas around Cuba and Haiti and Puerto Rico where the water temperatures are almost 100 degrees, and our storm is just to the north where we're looking at still moving through some very warm waters. It's expected to maybe to move into a little bit cooler waters, but it's still going to be warm enough for it to maintain that hurricane strength and that stronger hurricane, but it will weaken slightly as it moves closer across towards the U.S. and around the Bermuda area. We might see a little bit more weakening, so it could be a Category 2, maybe Category 3 storm as it moves and makes that turn towards the north and eventually possibly towards the northeast, depending on which forecast model wins out in this forecast. Because right now, there is a lot of uncertainty going on with the model forecast. And here is what the European, check that out, by the 18th, which is coming up here. And this actually has the hurricane forecast to hit New England. This is the Boston area. So according to the Euro right now, it's forecast to hit the Boston area and Rhode Island on the 18th of September. So that's one forecast from the European. But here's what the GFS. Now the GFS is keeping our storm mainly out at sea, but it's going to brush New Brunswick, Canada. So it's going to hit Canada and clip Maine. So it has it further to the east than the European. So right now we have a lot of uncertainty in the forecast guidance. So we're not going to put any nails down and say, oh, it's going to hit the U.S. Although I think the European has been more reliable, but I think right now it's a toss-up between these two models. And one is because of the, I think with the effect of the, the Bermuda High is shrinking and sliding to the east, and a trough building in across the northeast. And that trough across the northeast, depending on how far south and east it expands, that could impact the track that the hurricane takes. And that could, in fact, push the hurricane further out to sea. And maybe it'll miss New England. But if that frontal boundaries or that trough stays to the west, that could encourage the hurricane to move further to the west and directly impact the northeastern U.S. So a lot of forecast uncertainty right now in the models where there is a very large divergence between the Euro and the GFS. Here is our current conditions across the U.S. Pretty dry across the western U.S. and parts of the south. But we do have an upper level storm system across Minnesota that's been bringing some showers. We saw some rumbles of thunder out there this afternoon, but nothing too bad at this point. But we are seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms up here in Minnesota and Iowa and extreme northwestern Wisconsin. And we have a lot of rain out here in the mid-Atlantic states. So from the south, Georgia, Florida, through the Carolinas, eastern Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, up into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City, Long Island. Also, we're seeing those showers and thunderstorms and severe weather, and even some tornadoes. Last night was reported near the Boston area and in Massachusetts that caused some damage over that way. So we did have a severe weather outbreak occur in the Northeast last night, and we're seeing those showers and storms again this afternoon and into the evening hours this evening right now. Here is our current temperatures. It's still really hot down across the state of Texas and the desert Southwest. So if you are in the states of Arizona and eastern California, as well over into New Mexico, southern New Mexico, Texas here toward the west and southern Texas. So if you're in San Antonio, San Angelo, El Paso, you're still seeing those temperatures in the triple digits, as well as those heat indexes are also in the triple digits. And we're seeing those heat indexes in the triple digits to 100 all the way up into Iowa and into southern Minnesota, where it's 98 degrees in Rochester in the heat indexes. But look at that 65 up there. We're seeing that 85 up there in Duluth, Minnesota. So we're seeing, even though we're seeing showers today, it's still a pretty warm day. and we're seeing that 96 out there across the Dakotas, and we're seeing those still very warm heat indexes throughout much of the Midwest and into the southern Ohio Valley and into the Northeast. We also have those heat indexes near 100 degrees across the middle Atlantic states. And here we are as we talk about those dew points. Still very humid out there across the eastern U.S. Dew points in the 60s, near 70 degrees in the Northeast, New England, and as well as through the mid-Atlantic. We're seeing those dew points in the 60s down along the Gulf Coast and the Southeast. And we're still seeing dew points in the upper 50s to lower 60s near the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest, which includes Minnesota and the Dakotas. So we're seeing those dew points are still really strong out there, but the dew points do drop off as you head toward the west, northern North Dakota, through Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and toward the Pacific Northwest. We're seeing those dew points drop into the 40s and 50s, so a bit more comfortable out toward the western U.S. and down in the southwest as well. And here's our severe weather watches and alerts. We have severe thunderstorm or heat advisories down here across Texas. Heat advisories across southern Texas. We have winter weather, severe weather statements. So a lot of severe thunderstorms, potential floods, severe thunderstorm watches, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in the Northeast and New England, and we have some severe thunderstorm activity across the high plains as well right now. And we're looking at our lightning strikes. So we're seeing some lightning up here in Minnesota, but tons of lightning across the Appalachian Mountain Range. So if you're on the west side of the Appalachians, so if you're near Nashville, and we're all the way up into Kentucky, to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, again, a lot of severe thunderstorms, and we're seeing storms down here to Georgia, South Carolina, and in North Carolina, and we still have a few lightning strikes down there in southern Florida as we have some tropical moisture in the area. So we're dealing with a lot of thunderstorms this afternoon, and some thunderstorms down here across Texas as well. So a lot of thunderstorms and more storms in the west. So we have monsoon thunderstorms over the desert Southwest, storms down in Texas, storms in the upper Midwest, storms in the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, and across parts of the South. So a lot of summer thunderstorms out there, still the order of the day. And here is our severe weather outlook for this afternoon. Severe weather is possible across the high plains, where we can see some damaging winds and large hail. Some more damaging winds and heavy rain and large hail is expected down across south central Texas. And this is where probably our more substantial severe weather will be across the Northeast, where a tornado or two might be even possible here in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, where we have a slight chance for some severe weather and a marginal chance for severe weather, and we're looking at some large, heavy rain, some flooding possible, damaging winds, hail, and an isolated tornado. It's going to be possible this afternoon and this evening across the Northeast. And again, tomorrow, a bit of a diminishment in the severe weather, but we will see some severe potential across the high plains, parts of Texas, Colorado, and into Oklahoma and Kansas or northeastern New Mexico, where we could see some hail and damaging winds primarily from those severe storms in that area. And then as we move into Monday, no severe weather is expected across the country, but we'll see some garden variety thunderstorms as we head into your Monday and Tuesday. All right, so in the Northeast, let's take a closer look at the severe weather taking place across the mid-Atlantic states, where we do have showers and thunderstorms right now that's moving across New Jersey, New Jersey too, but West Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia. We're seeing them in eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and through parts of southern New York. And we're also seeing those storms all the way making their way up toward the Boston area as well, and down the coastline to Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia. So we're seeing showers and thunderstorms pretty much everywhere across the I-95 and I-85 corridors right now. So again, be prepared for that severe weather and be prepared to take action should you in the event that you need to. Okay, here is our severe weather active, our watches right now. We have a severe thunderstorm watch across much of the eastern half of Pennsylvania, western New Jersey, southeastern New York State, parts of Maryland, northern Maryland. We have a severe thunderstorm in effect for about the next hour or so across that region. I'm pretty sure it's going to be admitted, so we're going to see that extended. And then here is our flash flood threat across the Appalachian Mountain Range, primarily here up into the Adirondacks into the northeast. We have that potential for excessive rainfall and flash flooding. So we do have the likelihoods for flooding issues from the severe weather in that region. And here we are with our rain forecast for through Monday afternoon, where we can pick up 1 to 2 inches for a lot of you folks. If we can max out that moisture in some of those clouds, we're going to be looking at about 1 to 2 inches, maybe an isolated 2 to 3 inch rainfall amount possible with that heavy rain and those severe thunderstorms. So we still have a lot of heat in the southwest and south central U.S. We still have a heat advisory down here across south central Texas. This is our excessive heat watch over the desert southwest, Phoenix towards Yuma and southeastern California. So those alert for heat, but they are finally getting less and less as we move through time. So that is a bit of good news. Some of you will be seeing some relief from the heat. I think more so across the southwest, more so than Texas. Unfortunately, Texas is going to kind of have to hang in there just a little bit longer. Those alerts for heat are finally beginning to disappear across the south. So that is your headline for today. So San Antonio down through to Houston, Tucson, and Phoenix, we're going to see fewer and fewer heat-related headlines as we move through time. Here is where we could see some record highs tomorrow. So down through Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, we can see a few spots break some temperature records as we move into the remainder of the weekend. So a warm weekend is still expected from Arizona to Texas with possible record highs. So it's still really hot out there. Look at those temperatures across Tucson, 108, 110 in Phoenix, 110 in Yuma. So it's still hot. 99 for you folks in Midland, Odessa. How you guys football doing out there? Midland always has a wonderful football team. 99 degrees in Austin, 96 in Dallas. So you see it's a little bit cooler as far as the temperatures is concerned. But let us not forget that heat index. So Sunday's heat index is still below 100 over East Texas, just above 100 in western and southwest Texas, but way above 100 down in Brownsville, Texas, near the Mexican border, where that heat index is 111, but 110 in Phoenix, 110 in Yuma. So that temperature and heat index is about the same. So that's not too bad as far as what we could be with these kinds of situations. All right, so here we go for Monday. Those temperatures a little bit cooler again, 108 in Phoenix, 102 in Tucson, a few degrees cooler. And we're going to see an increase in monsoon, the potential for monsoons across the southwest as well. Temperatures below 100 all over the state of Texas, upper 90s to near 100. I guess that's an improvement from what you've been saying. But look at the north here in Oklahoma, 76 in Oklahoma City, 99 in Austin, 76 in Oklahoma City. So there's a front in between the two there, probably right here in North Texas along the Red River and the border. So we're seeing those cooler temperatures to the north that's going to be sliding to the south. So you will see a break from the heat later on in the week as we head into next week. So that is some good news for you guys. And let's keep it pushing here as we find ways to beat the heat finally, hopefully. We're going to have to change this soon as we get ready to move into the fall. So that is a look at your weather forecast for the remainder of the weekend. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. Get you ready for the upcoming work week. My name is Mr. G. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And you can follow me on TikTok. All right, bye. Have a good night, guys.